welcome here to Talk FCB and welcome back to the channel, guys, for a full Barça news roundup today. We are going to be talking about the futures of Jordi Alba and Antoine Griezmann. We're going to be talking about whether Clement Lenglet will be staying or going this summer before finally it's a big topic and it's one of the biggest Barça transfer stories right now. We're going to be discussing Ilaix Moriba's situation in its entirety. So let's get to it. But if we first of all start with the future of Jordi Alba, who of course right now is 32 years old. He's entering what you'd admit is the final years of his career at the very, very top level. And right now Jordi Alba is on a contract until 2024 of around €200,000 a week, which there would make him one of, if not the, highest paid left backs in the world of football. But of course, given the fact that this summer Barca are in a very difficult financial situation, and of course given the fact that as well Jordi Alba is one of the most senior members of the squad, and also given the fact that he's been at the club a long time, he should of course really care about this club. So naturally, the club have called upon the likes of Jordi Alba, Gerard Piqué, Sergio Busquets to take their certain wage reductions to help the club in a very desperate situation right now. And whilst Piqué and indeed Busquets have been very open to those potential cuts, and I would expect them to happen in the very near future, one man who's reportedly been very much against any reduction, it's Jordi Alba. And apparently there, according to reports in the Catalan media, that has not gone down well with the Barca board. And if true, you could fully understand why. With RAC 1 going actually even further than that, because they say because of Alba's refusal to accept that wage cut, because of the fact that he's not even interested one bit there, according to the media, about any reduction, several board members would actually welcome his exit from the club this summer. And as of right now, Alba leaving cannot be ruled out. And it's very, very interesting, I feel, actually, to keep an eye on this situation, because as we spoke about a few days ago now, when you're looking at Messi's future, the clock is ticking. We are moving now into the month of August. We are moving into very important days for this club. And let's wait and see what kind of drastic action we're going to see from this board. And quite clearly, they're not going to take kindly to those who don't value the club and don't seem to care. Which then brings us on to the matter of Antoine Griezmann, because what exactly is going to happen to him this summer? Of course, we've heard plenty of exit rumours over the past few weeks. It's no secret that if the right offer arrived, Barca would certainly be open to letting Griezmann go. And it's not so much because of his performances on the field. It's not really about what he's giving us on the pitch, but it's more because of the real heavy weight there that his wages have on our current financial situation. However, as the summer has gone on, as we continue here to get closer to the start of the new season, and as those lack of offers continue to trouble the club, the board are now actively pursuing alternative routes. Because yes, as we've spoken about on numerous occasions, Griezmann's wages are astronomical. There's no denying that. His wages are absolutely huge. Aside from Messi, he's comfortably the biggest earner at the club, and by some distance indeed. But what if Griezmann agreed there to a significant wage reduction? Because if he does indeed end up staying at the club, if the offers do not arrive for him this summer, that's something there that we're going to need to explore. And honestly, looking at Griezmann's character, looking at the way that he's conducted himself right throughout his time wearing the Barca shirt, honestly, I could see him accepting it. I could see him there being very, very open to understand what the club is going through and accept a reduction. He's a hard-working player, on the pitch, off the pitch. He seems to really enjoy playing for Barca. You also see him there getting involved with the Barca basketball team, Barca Femini. I feel as though he actually there understands the club. I feel like he does care. And according to Sport, if the club go to him and say, look, you're staying at the club, but can you accept a wage reduction? Sport say Griezmann would. Then there is the matter of Clement Lenglet and exactly what his future is going to hold this summer. Some people are quite surprised, really, there haven't been more exit links there when it comes to Lenglet, who of course is coming off the back of what was his worst season at the club so far. But as of right now, he is still in Barca colours. Now, the first club that Clement Lenglet has been linked to sort of came to fruition over the past week or so is Everton. Apparently, their Rafa Benitez would be really, really keen to bring him in as the centrepiece of his new defensive structure at Everton, and of course we have a good relationship there as well with Everton. We've done plenty of business with them in the past, which would make a deal a little bit easier. But they're not the only club either, because it also has been reported very recently that there's been serious interest there from Italy, from Jose Mourinho's Roma side, because it has been reported there that a potential 15 million bid has been thought about on the side of Roma when it comes to Clement Lenglet. But according to the Catalan media, Barca there wouldn't be happy with 15 million. They would be looking, if Lenglet was to leave, for around 25 million when it came down to it. But again, the interest and the potential transfer fee aren't really the issue here when it comes to Lenglet, because once again it comes down very much so to personal preference of the player on this occasion, because thanks to Bartomeu, one of his parting gifts, Lenglet is under contract there until 2026. He still has 5 more years left on his current Barca deal, and apparently Lenglet has told all of the clubs who may be interested in him that he will not be leaving Barca this summer, that he's staying, which when trying to sell a player makes things very, very difficult. But now it is time to tackle the very big topic and controversial topic that is the future there of Ilaix Moriba, because very much throughout this summer he's been the forgotten man. No, he hasn't been away on any international tournaments. No, he still isn't on holiday. He's back at the club, but he is simply not being involved. He hasn't been involved in any pre-season game there for Barcelona first team, and also from Barcelona B. The club are standing firm with their threat to freeze Ilaix out if he doesn't agree to a new deal. Because as of right now, Ilaix Moriba's current contract is set to expire next summer, in the summer of 2022, which if he did choose to let his contract run down, he would be able to leave the club next summer for absolutely nothing. But Barca are not prepared, and they are simply not willing to let that happen. They have made it clear that they're in charge, they will decide his future this summer, and he either agrees to Barca's demands or action will be taken. Because back in 2019, Ilaix's potential was rewarded by Bartomeu with a contract at the time which was the biggest contract ever seen for a youth player. He signed a deal there worth around 2 million a year, which back then, at the age that he was at, and even now to be honest, that's big money, nearly 40,000 euros a week. And the problem that Barca have now is that it's almost like Ilaix, or I say Ilaix, what I really mean is Ilaix's representatives, they've kind of gotten a taste for that money. And now the time has come for his renewal. They want more, and they want more with no consideration to the financial problems that Barca currently have. Because it has been widely reported in the Catalan media that Ilaix Moriba's representatives this summer are demanding a new contract there worth around 6 million euros. 6 million euros per year, which if that was the case, that would see him earning there more than Eric Garcia, more than Sergio Aguero, more than Memphis Depay. It is absolutely ludicrous. How do you justify that? How do you justify those kind of demands? Even if it's not quite that figure, anything close to that is simply unbelievable. Because yes, if you look at last season, he made several appearances there in the first team. Ronald Koeman seemed to like using him. He showed promise. We enjoyed seeing Ilaix Moriba break through. But if you're already making those kind of demands at this young age, given the fact you are still unproven, there is talent there for sure, but you can't be certain that Ilaix is going to go on and be something very, very special. We can't give out that kind of money, especially not now. And I think for the club to see those kind of demands, quite honestly, they're angry. Because I think then, when you hear in the media, when you're talking about a potential exit for Ilaix Moriba, if his contract there cannot be renewed, Barca apparently would look to sell him this summer. They would look to move him on. And apparently his representatives there are well aware of interest from the Premier League. Manchester City are one of the clubs linked, and also there Chelsea are apparently willing to match in full Ilaix's wage demands. And I mean, look, of course they are. They've got unlimited amounts of money there. You can go to Man City, you can go to Chelsea, you can get the kind of wage that you want. And look, if you want to do that, go and do that. At the end of the day, it is your decision, it is your career. You can decide what you do. But Barca, quite clearly this summer, they're not taking any messing. Either there, you agree to the kind of renewal that we are willing to offer and that we can afford, or if not, we will sell you, with Barca there looking for around 25 million euros if Ilaix was to leave the club this summer. And I also think, to be honest, that Ilaix's case hasn't really been helped because of those around him. You look there at the emergence of Pedri, how good he's been and how also humble he's been as well. He's been brilliant in his opening season. He's not coming right now asking for a brand new big contract. You also look as well at the likes of Gavi, 16 years old, being brilliant in pre-season. Ronald Koeman is a huge fan of Nico Gonzalez. There's young players in our midfield who are willing to step up if Ilaix doesn't want to be in that team. If he's not desperate to wear the Barca badge, then ultimately we've got plenty of players right now and plenty of talent who are willing to jump into that space. And finally, guys, I do just want to clarify exactly why this is happening with Ilaix Moriba and why maybe we're not seeing this kind of action with other players. Many people are saying, why are we only targeting Ilaix? Why are we treating him like this? But there's other players at the club who are not being moved on, and we're not seeing such drastic action with those players. And I want to first of all say that I absolutely condemn, and I think it's an absolute disgrace that Ilaix Moriba is receiving racial abuse on social media because of this situation. That is absolutely uncalled for. It is not the way to go about things, and honestly, it really, really hurts me to see that. But I just want to say that the board are only doing this with Ilaix and not with other players because of the contract situation. You look at players there like Samuel Umtiti, for instance. You look at players there like Miralem Pjanic, players like that who are on big, big wages. The club want to sell them, but obviously they're limited with what they can do. They've got big, big contracts there that go on for more and more years, whereas Ilaix, he's only got one more year to run. Because, for instance, you look at Ousmane Dembele, you look at Sergio Roberto, they are going to be just as hard, they're going to be just as forceful with those players because they're going to say to them, we will renew you, but you're going to have to halve your wages. They are going to be just as strong, and if they don't sign those reduced renewals, I wouldn't expect either of those players to play in this team. Laporta right now is absolutely adamant that the player power that we've seen at this club, it cannot go on. The players are not in charge. He wants to change the culture, and he wants to put the club and the board the way that it should be, put them back in charge, and hopefully this is the beginning of that change. So please, guys, do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. There is plenty to react to today. What do you make there of the entirety of that Ilaix Moriba situation? What would you like to see happening with him over the next few weeks? Big, big meetings are about to take place between him, his representatives, and the club over the coming days. So stay tuned there for all of the latest on his future. Let me know your thoughts as well on Jordi Alba, Antoine Griezmann, and Clement Lenglet. I will see you soon, of course, with plenty more videos to come. Thanks for watching, guys. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.